Hi, it's Paulina, and welcome back to the My Best Self podcast, where we become the best version of ourselves. Today, we are speaking about entering our rich girl era, how to be abundant, how to attract more money into our lives, how to live a more abundant life and financially free life. I believe I'm pretty qualified to speak on this since I have been able to achieve this for myself personally at a very young age. I still have a far way to go. I still have a lot of goals to reach. I have a lot of money to accumulate still. I have a lot of bags to how would I say it? I don't know. But I honestly have reached a point where I'm like, wow, I am extremely blessed. And I want to share everything I know on this topic because honestly, I think that we are done a disservice a lot of the times. For example, and I'm not calling out school in general, but in school they do teach you. They teach you basically the only way to make money, to live a good life is to go to college, get a 9 to 5, work your way up the corporate ladder, and boom, that's how you're gonna make good money, live wealthy. But honestly, in today's day and age, we're in a different time. And I'm not saying don't go to college. Choose wise decisions. For me personally, I didn't go to college, but I do believe learning is extremely important. It's extremely important to learn, to be a lifelong learner, to always be open to new information, new knowledge, because you never know what you're going to learn and how it's going to change your life. So my journey has been very different. I pursued content creation from a very young age. I started when I was 14 years old. And the way that I've found success has been very non-traditional. So I'm here to tell you that there is not just one set road that you have to follow. I know it's very common to say money doesn't buy happiness. I don't think it necessarily buys happiness, but I will say it buys freedom. And freedom can lead to a very happy, very peaceful life. So, not saying money buys happiness, but money does buy freedom and peace of mind. So let's get into how to enter your rich girl era. Sorry guys, I took a quick bathroom break, but I'm back. Everything in this reality is made up of energy, right? We are literally made up of atoms, and atoms are particles of energy. And as human beings, we experience emotions. We're breaking this down to the very root. What are emotions? Emotions are energy in motion because emotions are experienced as energy moving through our body, right? Those are our feelings. So for us to attract anything in this life, we need to match whatever it is that we want. We need to match its frequency. And every emotion that we experience has a different frequency. Lower frequency emotions are emotions like fear, emotions like shame. These are low frequency emotions. So when it comes to money, if we are in a scarcity mindset, this is a mindset of fear. This is a mindset of there's not enough. This is a mindset of lack. So when we're in this mindset, we're in this emotion. We're feeling this emotion, which is a low vibrational emotion. So if you want to attract money, you have to get out of the scarcity mindset. You have to exit the scarcity mindset. You have to go into an abundant mindset. When you're in an abundant mindset, you believe that things will work out. You believe that there's more than enough. You're not resonating with fear. You're not resonating with lack, with anger, with apathy. You're not resonating with that. What you are resonating with is joy. You're resonating with peace. So that means that you're emanating a way higher frequency. You're living in a higher frequency than if you were living in fear and in lack. So that is the very first step. If you want to enter your rich girl era, you have to leave the scarcity mindset behind because money is not going to come to you when you're living in fear and lack. And that's the hardest part because when you're living in fear and lack, it's like, how can you not be in fear and lack? When that is what your reality is showing, right? That's where the disconnect happens. That's where the disconnect happens for a lot of people. And that's why a lot of people get stuck in the cycle of poverty and they get stuck in the cycle of lack. It's because it's hard not to. It is. I'm not going to say that it's not hard because it's hard not to when that's what your reality is showing you. So you have to kind of go into yourself first and first change inward, and then your outer world will change. When you start to believe that things will change, the outer world will change, but you have to give it time. And that's where a lot of people get stuck. They don't give it enough time, or they don't actually change their thoughts and their mindset and their way of being, and they stay in that cycle. But it's not impossible. There are people that have come from literally nothing. You can find stories on the internet. So you can't make excuses. And I know that's obviously a privileged thing to say, but I'm speaking even as someone who doesn't come from money either, who has built something for themselves. So if you don't believe it's possible, it's not going to be possible. But if you want to believe it's possible, you can literally find people's stories, people that have come from nothing. There's so many stories you can find on the internet, and you can find people's stories that have come from nothing, that have come from dirt, that have put themselves in a new position, in a new place in life. And you can listen to their story and realize that it is possible. Because if it was possible for them, then why can't it be possible for you? Why? There is no reason why it can't be possible for you too. If you believe that it's possible, that is it, and that's what it will be. But that is the first step, and that is the foundation that we're gonna build up off. We have our mindset down. Let's get into ways that we're gonna step into our rich girl era, and tips that I personally have used to get to where I am today, and things that I've learned along the way. The first thing we need to emphasize: if you want to make a lot of money, if you want to put yourself in a new position in life, you need to do something new. You can't do the same thing that you've been doing so far. You need to learn discipline. Nothing like a disciplined person. There is nothing like somebody who's gonna wake up and who's gonna do it, and who's gonna do what needs to be done no matter the circumstances, who's gonna make it happen. Be Mrs. Make It Happen. Make it happen for yourself. And remember, nobody's coming to save you. This is something that I learned at a very early age. Nobody's gonna come save me. People are too busy saving themselves. People can't even save themselves, actually. People can't even save themselves, so how am I going to expect somebody to come and save me? I have to do that for myself, and I'm going to make it happen for myself. And that's the mentality that I focused on. I'm going to make it happen, and I'm going to do it because I said I'm going to do it. And that requires discipline. It requires discipline and commitment. So understand what it is that you want. Understand the position that you want to be in. Maybe you don't know exactly how you're going to get there yet, but have at least an idea. For example, me, I don't know exactly how I'm going to get to my goals. I'm being very raw and honest right now. I don't know exactly how I'm going to get there, but I do have an overall vision, and I have an overall theme, and I have overall an idea, and I know exactly what I want. I do know exactly what I want. I just don't know exactly how I'm going to get there yet. And that's okay, because as you go, you start to slowly unlock the next step. It's like as you go, life starts pushing different things, different opportunities in your direction, and you take them and you continue to grow and see where it goes, right? So it's not about knowing exactly every single step that you need to do. It's about knowing exactly what you want, what type of life you want, and then learning how am I going to get there, and taking the steps every day to get there. Not only is that going to require your discipline, but it's also going to require sacrifice from you. And this is where the people that don't really want it get left off. Because in order to build something for yourself, in order to build something successful, you do have to give a part of yourself. You have to give yourself to it. And this is a sacrifice. And sacrifice looks different for everyone. You might be sacrificing not going out on weekends or going to sleep at an early time so that you can wake up early. You can have more time in the day to do what you need to do. You might sacrifice certain people in your life. They may not fit into the vision that you have for yourself. That's a sacrifice too, to walk away from people that just don't fit into that life. When you're building something, usually you really have to lock into it, right? So that's going to take time. So you might sacrifice time that you could have spent with your family, time you could have spent with your friends. Some people spend hours a day watching TV, for example. You're going to have to sacrifice that. It's about how badly do you want it, and what are you willing to sacrifice for it. And I'm not saying that you're going to go isolate yourself. You're never going to see your friends and your family. You're going to just that's not what I'm saying, even though for some people they have periods of isolation where they do this. And I think that's fine if you do it in a small period of time, but overall, obviously that's not healthy. I'm not saying go and do that, but understand there's going to be sacrifice. And if you really want something, that's going to be fine with you. The next thing I'm going to get in, if you want to get into your rich girl era, consume educational content. Stop mindlessly scrolling. I do this sometimes too. But most of the content that I consume nowadays is educational. That's not to say though, don't get sucked in to only consuming content and not doing anything to really better your life. If you're gonna watch an educational video, or you're listening to this podcast right now, this is good, valuable knowledge. It's not mindless entertainment, which there's nothing wrong with that once in a while, but If you really want to better yourself, this is probably better for you than purely entertainment type of content. You listening to this right now, or you watching this right now, you're not going to watch this video or listen to this video and then not apply it. Because if you do, then it's like, why did you even watch it? Why did you even listen to it? Why did you waste your time? So if you're going to consume content, make it at least something educational. If you're trying to start, I don't know, let's say you want to start a laundromat business. Watch videos about that, or watch videos about how to start a business in general. Read books about it. I think books are the best way that you can consume anything. Listen to audiobooks, if anything, while you're driving. Do that, but don't get stuck in the hole of only consuming, and then letting that be everything for you, and you thinking you did something productive by just watching a video. Because honestly, that's not the productive part. Right now, you're doing the easy part. You're just listening and you're intaking information. Now it's up to you what you do with this information and how you put this information to work actionably to change your life. And this also goes along with, we live in a world where you can find so many resources. You can find people that have become successful the same way that you want to be successful. Many of them share their stories. So many successful people out there who have shared their stories, who share their knowledge. Find the expert that you're seeking and listen to them. Listen to what they have to say and learn from them. It's not like nobody has done it before. Learn from the people who have set down those foundations for you already. I also want to talk, when it comes to being in your rich girl era, a lot of people talk about budgeting. I just want to say, if you want to be in your rich girl era, you cannot budget yourself to death, because that is the mentality of lack. That is the mentality of there's not enough. Go to the other side of the pendulum. You want to enter the mentality of abundance. You have to see spending money differently than you do right now. And this is something that took me a long time to learn. But I had to learn that I had to stop being so anxious every time that I spent money. And it's hard when you don't come from a lot of money. It's like you kind of have that ingrained in you. And that's what you've learned, and that's what you've seen. And you've seen your parents struggle, seen them complain about bills, and you've seen the scarcity mindset. If I pronounce it wrong sometimes, you guys, I forget how to pronounce it sometimes, so don't mind me. So I understand why it's a little bit like, well, like, girl, what do you mean? How am I supposed to be happy spending money if I'm like over here struggling in survival mode? I understand that, but like I said before, it's like you have to change things internally before they change on the outside. So whenever you can, try to slowly get into that. Try to slowly get into, whenever you spend money, see it not as, ugh, I had to pay this much for groceries. See it as in, wow, I am so thankful that I get to buy these groceries, that I get to buy food, that I get to eat, that I have food to eat. Just try to switch your mindset, because if you're gonna spend that money anyways, spend it happily. Spend it in the way where you're like, wow, like I'm happy and thankful for this money because it allowed me to get this in exchange. Because at the end of the day, that's what it is, right? It's an energy exchange. You're exchanging this money, which is energy, for another energy, food. See it as an exchange and see it in a way where you're thankful to be able to have this thing. And when you let go of money freely in this way, I promise you, money is going to want to come right back to you, because like we talked about before, money is an energy. And not only is money an energy, I'm going to quickly give you a little crash course on this. Money is literally like water. It flows and it wants to flow. It doesn't want to be stagnant. When you talk about currency, it reminds you of a current. When you talk about having money in the bank, what other banks are there? There are water banks where water is stored. A lot of the language connects, and I think it's for a deeper reason, because it's the same thing. When you let go of money, you let it go freely, you let it flow the way that it wants to flow. It will come back to you, because money likes that. What it doesn't like, same as water, is to be stagnant. So what happens when water is stagnant? It builds up bacteria. So that's the way that I relate it in my mind. Money is like water. It wants to flow. So let it flow. And I'm not saying never budget anything, but don't budget yourself to death, because then you are limiting yourself. Then you're saying that you for sure are only going to have enough for this, this, and this. Instead, keep track of your money. Do keep track of your money. I keep track of my money, but don't do it in such an obsessive way. Okay, next, if you want to enter your rich girl era, you need financial literacy. Financial literacy is extremely important, and it's another thing that they do not teach you in school. There are so many systems when it comes to money. There are so many things that are important to learn, especially as a business owner. So when I first started with social media, I had no idea about any of this, but eventually I learned, oh, I have to open up an LLC. An LLC is a limited liability corporation, which protects you when it comes to your business. There's also S Corps, C Corps. I think there's other corporations too. But learning about financial literacy is extremely important. The way that I started my first like financial book, which honestly I haven't read a lot of financial books. I've learned a lot of what I know on TikTok, but from actually good sources, okay? Not just random sources. And one of the YouTubers that I love, if you want to learn about financial literacy, Graham, I don't know his last name. Let me look that up actually. Graham Stephan, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. He's a YouTuber. He makes educational financial content that is super good. One thing about him that I don't align with is like he's very frugal, but that's him and I'm not here to judge. Good, but his content is great. If you want to start learning more about financial literacy, basically most questions that you may have that are money related, you're probably going to find the answer on his channel. Something else when it comes to financial literacy is basically understanding how to make money work for you. And the way you make money work for you is by investing your money. And this can be in different ways, but if you want the biggest return and growth, it's more so about investing your money into things that are going to give you passive income. It can be done in different ways. It can be through real estate. Real estate is a great one. You get a property, you get tenants, and the tenants pay you money every single month. You know, you get to pay your mortgage, but you're not really the one paying it. Your tenant is paying, and then usually you have some money left over from that, and that is your passive income. Also investing in different businesses that make you money. Basically, and I didn't really clarify what passive income is. Passive income is income that you're making without having to do anything. So it's like me sitting right here. If I have streams of passive income, and you see that's another thing, streams like water. If I have streams of passive income and I'm sitting here making this video, it's like I'm making money right now without even doing anything, without working in those businesses. So there's different ways to do it. Like I said, real estate is one way. Also, creating a business for yourself where you don't have to be actively a part of it. So random example, people do this with like vending machines. Person that set it up, they make money and they don't have to actively be doing anything. That is passive income, when you don't have to work for a certain amount of time and exchange your time for money. That is what is going to create true wealth and true financial freedom. Because even if you start a business, that requires extreme amounts of time from you, you essentially are doing the same thing that you would be doing if you were in a 9-to-5. It's like you're trapped. And you don't really feel free. Even if you make good money, you're not really going to feel free because you're trapped into that system. So it's about escaping that system and being able to make a business and set up a business that maybe in the beginning you're going to have to put in those hours for, but eventually you're going to be able to build systems where you don't have to actively be working for money and exchanging your time for money. So understanding this and having this as your end goal is very important. The way that I make my money now, it's partly passive, but a lot of it is active because I'm actively making videos. I'm actively editing videos. There are ways to make it more passive. For example, getting an editor, which I have done for my personal channel actually. And so then it's like delegating certain tasks, which takes weight off your plate and allows more of your income to come in passively with you doing less work. And that's the end goal when it comes to making money, being able to build some type of business with systems that allow you to step away from that business and allow that business to work for itself and allow the money to work for itself. And those are things that I've learned from reading and from watching people and financial experts that know about money. And there's so much more to money. And it's something where if you know the right information, you can really leverage that. You can really use it and build something new for yourself. The problem is a lot of people don't know this because, like I said before, this is not taught. But the reality is financial literacy is extremely important. And once you start making money, it's also extremely important because it allows you to keep more of your money. And also to build off of that, once you start making money, if you really want to enter your rich girl era, if you're starting a business, if you have a small business and it's making money, I always say invest back into your business. The money that you're making with your business, try to invest most of it back into your business. Let's say your business is doing really well and you want to take it to the next level. Well, you can take, for example, let's say a marketing course, or use that money and hire somebody that's an expert in marketing. Put that money that you're making into ads to invest back into your business. You can't just start making money and then immediately upgrade your lifestyle. No, invest back into your business because your business is going to keep growing and growing that way. It takes money to make money. You have to remember that. And not only invest in your business, but also invest in yourself, in your mindset. Learn new skill sets that are going to help you in your business, whatever that may be. And the last thing I want to touch on today is time management. We all have the same 24 hours in a day. So it really is all about how you manage your time and how you use it to your advantage. Because I know there's a story about a single mom of 3 working 2 jobs that has still built up a business. I know if I look for a story like that, I'll be able to find it. Because at the end of the day, if you really want something, you're going to make it happen. So time management is extremely important. And if you don't have a crazy amount of time, it's okay. It's about what you do with that time that you do have. Probably waste time that you don't even know you waste. You have time. You just have to find it. What I mean by that is, for example, if you want to better yourself, if you're trying to build a business, you want to start learning about how you're going to build this specific business you want to build. And let's say you have a job that requires you to commute to work. During your ride, whether you're driving, whether you're taking the bus, whatever it is, listen to a video about that. Let's say you're at the doctor's office. While you're at the doctor's office, instead of just like watching TikToks while you're waiting, do something productive for your business, whether it's learning something new, setting something up that you can set up on your phone, whatever it may be, make that time. And the truth is, a lot of people waste a lot of time. But when you start to realize how precious time is, that's when you start to use it to your advantage and use it more wisely. And you have to see it this way. Time is worth more than money. Time is more valuable than money. Because look, money, there's an abundance of it. There is an abundance of it in this world. But time, you don't have an abundance of time. You probably have a good amount of time, maybe live till you're like 70, 80 years old. That's a good amount of time, but it's not infinite. Your time here on earth is going to expire, and that's set in stone, right? So when you understand that, when you understand how valuable your time is money, but even at a greater scale, that's when you're going to start using your time wisely. The way that I've been taking advantage of this is time blocking my days. I write my schedule for the week, and I write it not only by doing a list of what I have to do, I write it with the time that I'm going to do what. And this helps me a lot, because when I write a list down, it's like then I'm going throughout my day and I'm like, wait, what should I do next? And I just start scrambling, like, should I do this or then do this? And then I find myself choosing the activities that are least important because I want to procrastinate. And that's just not helpful. So when you time block, it's like you write down, okay, exactly at this time I'm going to be doing this. At this time I'm going to be doing this. And I'm not saying every single day you're going to get every single thing exactly at the time you said, because life happens, obviously. But for the most part, it is going to keep you on track. And when you're trying to build something for yourself, time is of the essence, and you should use your time wisely. So that is all that I have for you guys today. I really hope that you enjoyed this episode. I hope you all apply this knowledge, because like I said before, if you only listen and you don't apply it, you're not really doing anything to change. You're not really taking steps forward. You're simply just listening. So take this knowledge and apply it. Apply it, apply it, apply it over and over and over again. And then that's going to create a change. So thank you so much for listening, and I will see you on next week's episode at 10 a.m. PST. I love you so much.